Wow. How did I do this morning? How did I do? Did you learn anything? Let me ask you this. Are you having fun? Okay, well, you don't qualify if you're not having fun. I hope you are having fun, because this can be a really fun business. And if it's not fun, it isn't going to work. You don't need another job. It has to be fun. Just let me share a couple of figures with you regarding what we did, this morning. I want to make sure that it's indelibly impressed upon your cerebral cortex, like a neon sign that lights up in your mind, that this works. I don't know what you've been doing up to now. I don't know if you were brought in as a chicken or a duck. You saw the thing about the geese. And before I get into these numbers, there's some incredible science behind this. What happens in this formation in aviation or for the birds. But it's also true in mathematics and in binomial or binary theory. It's the most efficient, powerful equation in a marketing plan that you could create, or formula, allowing more people to succeed at the maximum profit level without having to form more lines or more legs. So scientifically, mathematically, just like with the geese, it is the most efficient and powerful and profitable and long-lasting program that can possibly exist. We have created, without a doubt, and I challenge anybody to debate me on this, we have created the most profitable, the most efficient, the most stable marketing plan for the average person, home-based business that's ever been created. There's nothing that can hold a candle to it. I mean, it's a fact. You're not going to find anything. If there was a way to make it any better, we would. And I'll tell you what your guarantee is. I made this plan after 15 years in the industry for myself, because I wanted it to last, and I wanted to make millions, and I wanted to be able to do it fast, and I wanted to be able to do it by making other people successful. You see? And that, I was possessed by this. Everybody said it was impossible, that it couldn't be done. The computer programmers, the mathematicians, the actuaries, but we did it. We figured out how to do it. And I realize it's a little more complicated than other things, but it's really simple when you think about just building two legs. You agree with that? Every BDC can double, triple, quadruple the income driven by two legs, and if you do it right, that can be one, because the second one can be in, just like the 2 and the 3 are half done, can be in a power leg. Now, you can't do that anywhere else. And I have built big businesses before. And I'll tell you something, it is, you're a hamster on a treadmill. You're pumping the pumps. It is really hard. Not many people are going to be able to do what I did. I knew that. And that's the problem with them. Even the guy that makes it, it's going to be hard to get other people to make it. And that's really what it's all about, isn't it? Am I making sense to you? I'm just sitting down to have a fireside chat here and give you some wisdom about the business, drilling down a little bit more. But this is what it's all about. If you came in as a chicken or a duck, it certainly wasn't your fault. I'm sorry about that. But there's something that we can do about it, okay? Because you are intelligent. You understand this imprinting concept. We have to start bringing in people and hatching them not as chickens, but as geese. And That's what this afternoon was about, laying out how that is done. So I hope that, are you getting it? Is it making sense? Do you see the difference? I really am praying and hoping that you see the difference of what I'm talking about doing versus maybe what you've been doing or the way you were brought in. See, if you were brought in by me, you don't even know what happened before you even sign up. It's working. We have two legs going. We have people coming in, and they're leading to people. And I have a team, you know, that if you were 4 down, or if I had a senior partners above me that would be working in there too. So we got 2, 4, 5, 6 people working in those legs, all doing it because they all benefit. And man, it takes off. But if you're signing people up and then somebody else is signing people up and they're isolated and, oh yeah, here's your ticket, come to the meeting, that's not going to make it happen. Do you see how it's different? That's what I'm trying to find out. I don't know. Okay, so at any rate, here's what happened. When I got a bunch of a motley crew together, renegades and warriors, and the Dennis Franks, and the Bowlings and Buckman, and we started out there making this thing happen with nothing. You didn't even have any products. You didn't have any literature. You had to add your volume up on a board in the first year to figure out, and you had to call everyone to see if they put in an order, and half the time they lied to you. So you would flush, or you wouldn't hit the bracket. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this is reality. I'm not making this up. Ask these people. And, you had to add it up, and then we got Marvin in. But it was hard. Marvin was a calling service that would tell you your volume automated-wise. And the Pro Pack, you had to pay $600 for. You had to buy tapes and audios and videos, that would explain the program. Invest hundreds or thousands of dollars in materials. I mean, it was a different day back then. But yet, in spite of that, with this plan and with my partners, when Elizabeth saw this, she was what I call an MLM floozy at the time. But we got together. She saw the difference because she'd been around the block a few laps. And when she committed to doing this, it was over. And it's never been the same since. But you know what? We made a lot of money. I got busy with the company. She got busy traveling. I used to get, God, she's in Tahiti this week. I'm here grinding it out at the office, and now she's in, some other exotic place. Lauren reminded me that was the deal. Yeah, you're right. But we're back, and we're having fun. And we're hoping that you'll catch on to this wave and experience a renaissance. Some of you that have been around for a while, I really hope that you get born again. It was a lot of fun. You remember how much fun it was? Why not one more time? So at any rate, look, the first year, applying what we're doing here, that's all we did, what I showed you this afternoon. We went, the first year, 1992, 2,198 distributors. It was 100% growth. We did a little over 1 million. Okay. In 93, we recruited 7,796 distributors. They weren't UFOs at that time. And so that was a total of 9,994, 354%, 3.5 million. It's doubling, over doubling. The next year, 94, we recruited 13. Did I just say the word recruit? That's Dennis's fault. He always uses the word, and we brought on 13,164. So that's 17,790, 170% and growth rate, 9.4 million. 95, we prospected and qualified 18,205 for a total of 35,995. That's a 202% at 19.6 million, and it doubled for a couple years after that. In 1998, we were talking about the old days in '93 when we used to do it the right way. It's kind of funny. I mean, can't you laugh at that? It's hilarious. The old days. Okay, so at any rate, my point is this. This plan is so powerful and so efficient, I don't think anybody's really taking advantage of it. Elizabeth, you've done it somewhat. We know that we can do a lot more, but I just want you to think about this. Where else in any other type of direct sales, networking, you want to call it MLM or whatever, which we're not, or home-based business or any business, without having to make a huge investment and raise money. I mean, I'm not talking about millions. Big money to make big money. Can you, for two legs in your 001, applying what I showed you today, doing it this way, the geese way, okay? The evaluation approach and printing the right methodologies, the trial run, with everybody doing that, not just getting people in, they got to lead the people. And the whole process is a team process. Two legs, everybody working together rather than having to build six. Imagine what you're doing with two, doing it with six. Can you imagine that? Okay, well, six will just get you by. You got to have 12 to be making the type of money that you're making here with one. And then, if it's a breakaway program, you got to have another 6 to 8 in order not to have one check taken away from you. Okay? So that's another 12. You got to keep recruiting. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so here's the deal. You do two with the method we showed you today. That's $109,000 to $187,000. $109,000 at the beginning of the year. Okay, takes a while for the rest to build up, so we'll call it $187,000 by the second year. Okay, so now the 1 and the 2 are done. Using this method that I just showed you, the evaluation process, everybody working as a team, 2 a week for 52 weeks, 104, every single person doing that, working together to help each other, get people to the meeting through the evaluation approach, doing the follow-ups together, doing 3-way calls. You build one more leg because it's half done and you're 2 or 3, another $187,000, 109 at the beginning, 187,000 after you saw what Mark showed. What I'll show you tomorrow about how many people you need doing the SAM in order to be qualifying for checks, once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, and then maxing out. It's amazing. Things are changing, folks. Okay, it's changing. So that's $296,000 now you have coming in. 2 centers qualifying. One more leg on your 3. You following this? The 001 is totally solid. Totally solid. It has people earning 6 figures in it. And that's what's happened because that's how we get it there. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Again, well, I hope that you do, but you haven't gotten it, so you don't understand how to do it. Well, how you do it is what we were showing you. It's guaranteed to work. The numbers work in your favor. It goes off the Richter scale. So, one more leg the next year. You follow this? 2 legs the first, 1 more leg the second, 1 more leg the third, and you're talking about $551,000. Now, where are you ever going to earn that in your lifetime? We have a lot of average people that do. But somehow, the way we got there stopped. Now, you tell me that it didn't stop? I can prove it to you. We got to go back to what we were doing, and we had a hell of a good time. That's my point. Okay, you want to stop there? I remember Rick Hannon was making a few $100,000 a year, and he used to be a landscaper. I knew him real, back in another life. And I said, Rick, don't you want to make more money? He said, JR, I love the business. I'm building it. I'm supporting my groups. I got Vicki Lee. I got Phil Guido. It's a lot of work. We're dedicated to our church. We're doing this and that. I'm doing fine, man. I'm really, really happy. Okay, fine. My point is, though, most average people never made this type of money before. The plan works too well. It works so well that people stop doing anything. Isn't it great to have a plan that's so powerful it works too well? That's our problem. It works so well that people stop working. And I need you to keep going because we have to bring the geese with us. Somebody has got to lead the geese. And if you already made it, remember, it's about migrating to the residual income. You have to follow the money. So they what? They go to the south, to the warm weather, good food. Here we're talking about, in safety, we're talking about the residual income, the money. You got to do something to keep it going. You don't have to work hard. Does this make sense? Okay, so listen to this now. You're doing really well, and you're having a great time. I got to tell you, Lauren and I live a great life. It's full of excitement, full of great people, full of travel, full of grandkids. We do things that most people never even dream of doing. And we're really UFOs. We started the company because nobody else would. We needed it for us. But now let's think about this. If you have power legs from your 002 and 003, and Dennis, don't you agree? Everybody has a power leg, and you're always imbalanced somewhere. One's going to be ahead. All you do is place you don't try to figure out a scheme to use a re-entry to get somebody else to do it for you. You place it in a power leg, and when that 002 and that 003 are solid, you come back and you only have to build one more leg. One. Every year, one leg. And isn't that realistic? It's hard to build a lot. 4 legs, 6 legs. But one more leg, and you make another $109,000 to $187,000 a year. For 10 years, 5 more years, 6 more years, you're making, you ready for this? You ready for it? $1.94 million a year. Little old you. You're going to stay in your neighborhood and irritate the neighbors? What would life be like at that level? But see, if you don't think it, it'll never happen. But here's what I'm trying to tell you. It is definitely possible. It is definitely doable. It's within your reach. It's within your capability. And it's within the power of this plan. Very easily done if you want it. Where else can you find that? We have the best in the world. Okay. Okay, so at any rate, look, if you're not a director or above and you're trying and you haven't reached director yet, you've proven that what you do doesn't work that well. So my pitch to you today is I don't want you to have that type of experience. The plan is too powerful. The products are too great. All the things that back it up are incredible. There's nothing wrong with the company, nothing wrong with the plan, nothing wrong with the products. It works. You need to do something different. So I'm pleading with you because I want you to succeed to try this for 6 months, for 90 days. Try it. and stop doing what you've been doing. See, a lot of you, you're trying to get people in, and you're all bent out of shape, and you go in and you do what I call the ashamed approach, because you're trying to get people. You know this guy at work, and we get you all riled up, and you go in there and you say, "Hey, George, I need to talk to you about something." And so he said, I know you've always been real ambitious. And I ran into this thing, and it got great products and whatnot. And it's kind of like, a whole new concept, and it's not multi-level or anything. It's like really cool, and it's internet-driven and all of that. I says, well, what is it, selling? Well, kinda, but you do it over the internet, you use social media and all this type of stuff. And he says, well, so you just, got to see it. I have somebody that I'm connected to that can show it to you. And, he's looking at you, what's wrong with you? He said, well, did you make any money yet? No, not yet. But if you got in, I know I would get rich. He says, well, I can see you're really proud of it. I think I'll get in too. Do you know what I mean? So we got to get rid of that. And the great thing about this process is it's non-confrontational. You're backpedaling. You're asking them to evaluate it with a tremendous potential benefit, an offer too good to refuse, that if they see it and they know the right people, it can end up meaning some money to them. So we got to get over that. The evaluation approach with a list of 100, doing 2 per week for 52 weeks is 104. Send the other 4 back. You're going to have 8 go-nows. So when we work in teams and partners doing 3-ways, follow-ups, trial runs, okay, and understand that it's a qualifying process now, not a recruiting process. And by doing this, it automatically becomes a people generator. It's constantly bringing the people to the table. By the end of the year, you're going to have the greatest people that you ever dreamed of in your business. Does that make sense? I mean, so when you came into the business, I don't know if you know this, but you made an agreement with the line of sponsorship, line of leadership. And the agreement is in the Getting Started Guide. Now, the company, when you apply, and I'll go over this tomorrow, when you apply, it sets forth what our responsibilities are to you and how the deal works, and what your requirements and responsibilities are, and how it'll work financially. But in that, every single UFO has a contract with the company. There is the discussion of the line of sponsorship, and that you have people that have an economic interest in your success. And to do this, we were going to do it together. For it to work, you wanted the 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan. That's the assumption. Now, if you're not doing that part of the plan, you're already off track. So if they chose a 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan, here's the agreement. You got to do what's in the Getting Started Guide. The first step is to make a list of 100 people, because we know that 300. And out of that 100, okay, we're going to do 10 to 20 the first couple weeks in a trial run or evaluation technique. We're going to do it with you. And then over the year, we're going to do 2 a week for 52 weeks. Okay, and out of that, you'll get at least 8 go-nows. Now, how many people can honestly say that they did that in here? Please raise your hand. Don't raise your hand if you didn't do it, because I know that 99% of the people never did that. Now, what does that mean? You broke the covenant to start with. You never did the fundamental thing that was the deal for the 2 to 3 year plan to work. Does that make sense? So that's why you're not making 6 figures. It works. It worked for them. I did it with them. How hard of a change is that? Is it too late? You came in as a chicken because somebody didn't do this with you. You can blame it on them. But now that we know, is it too late to become a duck or a geese? Huh? Now think about this. The people you bring in this way know no different. They won't know any other way. They'll only know this way. The problem is you know and got imprinted the wrong way. So you can forgive yourself for it, but if you want to make big money, it's time for a change. That's my pitch to you. 5 things. Let's try it. Okay? I don't know where you got this. I never told it to you. The deal, the unfranchised deal, the covenant is with the company and the plan and what we will provide to you. And I think we've kept our promise. And the second part of it is what you have to do in order for the 2 to 3 year plan to work with the team that you are partnering with. 2 parts to it. Do you agree with that? And for some reason, whether it be their fault or your fault, it didn't happen. So there is the breakdown. Am I making sense to you? I need to know if you're getting this. So it's not so bad. You can go home and everything can change. And I don't expect you to do it alone. Call somebody up and say, man, I got it. I want to start again. Will you do it with me? And I want to ask you if you're the upline, if you're the senior partner, if somebody called you up and said that to you and wanted to do it and had their list of 100 and said, I want to do 2 a week, would you do it with them? That's not going to work. You're not going to make it. You got to be passionate about it. You got somebody that's dedicating their life to this that wants to do it. It's what we look for, and they're asking you to do it with them. I'll do 2 a week for the next year, and you are, oh, okay. Wow. You want to try again? If you have somebody in your organization that calls you up and commits to doing it the right way and wants to start again with 2 people a week, a list of 100, they have it in their hand, do the evaluation technique and start the trial runs, will you do it with them? Okay. Okay. Now we solved it, you see. Everything can change. You'll come back here next year at another pen level. I guarantee it. Okay. I feel better now. But this is all it is. This was the deal. And for some reason that got lost, didn't it? So we need to fix it. Okay? We have a short circuit. We have a plug that's not in the socket. We have a missing link. And it's not difficult to correct it. Do you realize what this means? If you and the upline team and your partner team below you get together and decide to do this, everything will change. Even if you do it in one leg, you'll be half rich. And then you come back, and now you are experienced, and you know how to do it, and we do it in the other leg. But you can do it in 2 at once. In this room, we can change this. We can change everything. We can fill this place with directors next year. It's that powerful. Just like we did in the beginning, the company got to where it was because generally this group did this together. And somehow, we stopped flying with the geese. All we got to do is start doing it again. It's just that simple. Did you understand what we need to do? Well, this is good news. So if you're new and inexperienced, okay, and you don't have any confidence, I want to talk to you for a minute. Okay, when you think about calling 2 people a week for the next 52 weeks and asking them to evaluate it for a good reason to make sense to them, because they might know the right people. You have to have the right reason. You know, you do internet shopping, you live in an area that we're looking to expand in. You know, I know you're a really intelligent person, you're one of the smartest people I know in business. I want you to evaluate this and see what you think about it, if it'll really work, because I'm going to dedicate myself to it. I mean, there's 100 different things you can say, but you make it so it makes sense to them. Does that make sense? Okay? So you customize it, and giving a brief description of the internet tracking and e-commerce concept, or the shopping annuity, or converting spending into earning, and that it's about to hit the tipping point. I can't explain it, but I have the connection. See, my next door neighbors don't think I know anything either. And I know that your friends or people that you know, they don't think you know anything. How could you possibly have an enterprise that I can make 6 figures at? But you know what they do believe? You might have the connections. I have the connections. That's believable, isn't it? Is it? Okay. So I want you to meet this guy or gal, okay? Or I'm tied in right at the top with the top people bringing it into the area. And if I can lead to the right people, or if you can, there could be some royalties in it for us. That's an offer too good to refuse. So, you know, can you do that? Can you do that? Okay, so let me ask you something. When you talk to somebody, what is it that you're concerned that they might think? Do you kind of have a feeling when you think about calling them and you're a little jittery about it? What is in your head that you're worried about them thinking, that you couldn't just pick up the phone and do this? There's something, and it's okay that there's something. But what I want you to do is identify it. Because if we identify it and bring it up front first, we dissolve it. It falls away beneath its own weight. But if you don't address it, it festers. It affects how you talk. You sound like you're, nervous or, trying to pull something off. But when you bring it up, it clears the air, and it just makes it easy. Does that make sense? Light shining in my eye, I can't hardly see it. Discuss it with an experienced partner or pro. Learn what to say or do and rehearse it. Work with someone who knows how to do it. This is why Elizabeth is so successful. She doesn't want them to call the people half the time themselves, because that person might blow them out, or they have really good people. And she doesn't want to chance their inexperience not bringing those people on board. Somebody is opening the door to you to find great people that are qualified, that would know the right people, even if they couldn't do it or didn't do it or were busy with something else. What a gold mine that is. How are you going to find that person on your own? They're opening the door to the people that you need for you. It's really smart. I'm not going to let them call them. Those are my people. Somebody's giving me the connection to the person that I need to do the business with. Now, if you all had 2 great people in the next 90 days because of that, what would happen? What would happen if you had 2 people that were really connected, were entrepreneurial, that knew the right people? Even if they ended up doing it, they would put you in front of really good people. And maybe they don't want to do this type of thing because they know somebody in MLM and they think this is it. Whoa! You know people and those things? Which one? Because we got to save them. So you can't lose, can you? Okay, so work with someone who knows how to do it. It doesn't take doing it a lot in a little time. I'm going to say that again. It doesn't take doing a lot in a little time. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to do it 8 hours a day. You just have to do a little bit consistently over an extended period of time. 2 per week. Now, if you can't do that, you just don't deserve to make 6 figures ever. Be satisfied with where you're at. Don't do the business and embarrass us where you run around and tell people you're in it and it didn't work. You didn't work. Just get it straight. If you don't show up for work, you don't make any money, you get fired too. We can't fire you. Two a week. And so kick off, listen, I'm kicking off a new business and I'm having a grand opening. I just wanted you to know what I'm doing. In 1 year, I'm retiring my job. I found this incredible concept, and I've always been a little entrepreneurial, and I'm going to give it a shot. I'd like you to come look at it because you might know the right people. What's so hard about that? The only way a person will say no to that is if they don't like you. Are we getting anywhere? Is this helping? Okay, I want you to make it so bad, it pains me. When I think about it, I tear up. The most powerful power in the world is not atomic energy. It is not governments. It's not ideologies. The most powerful power in the world is people power. And the human desire to lift oneself up, to live a better life and to be free. That's the greatest power. And we have within our hands the ability to attack that and to change the world. It's just that simple. You have the tool. Okay, so once you have a couple one-on-ones and two-on-ones, you're going to be feeling good. Wow, you know what it feels like? To feel, oh, wow, I did it. So you did a couple one-on-ones, two-on-ones, small kitchen table meetings. Always try to have somebody with you. Hey, if Elizabeth had to show the plan in Greensboro and I was here, or if I had to show the plan and she was here, you know what we would do? I mean, I don't need her to show the plan, and she doesn't need me to show the plan, but we would team up and wreck them. You know what I mean by wreck them? Mess their mind up. Because two heads are always better than one. Two people agreeing exponentially increases the credibility and believability of what you're doing. Does this make sense to you? So what is so hard about doing that? I want you to tell me if nobody will help you. Maybe they don't deserve to be your sponsor or your upline. You follow what I'm saying? Okay. So once you have had a couple of one-on-ones, small kitchen meetings, book some follow-ups, and have some of these people coming back to see it again, because you got to see it 3 times, right? You know what to say. Right at the beginning, put your apprehension at the door, put your pocketbook away. You can't get in. You got to see it 3 times. And here's why. Explain it to them. Okay? You can get some people to evaluate it. You may want to have a HBP kickoff or grand opening at your house and invite a whole mess of people because it's starting to work, and announce it. And have Elizabeth come, have the senior partner come. You know, I love to tell people, I just wanted you to know that I'm going to be retiring my job in a year. I found something incredible, and, you know, we're committed to it, and I'd like you to see it. So it's just that simple. I'm coming out with a webinar, and you'll see it tomorrow, a chart, and also we've upgraded the manifesto, redone it, made it simpler, really powerful, so that when somebody says, oh, it's one of those things, you can show them why it's not. We're not MLM, and here's why. And here's why it's better than those type of things. Okay, so the key is people leading to people. That's the bottom line. That's the formula. That's the engine. And each new trial run opens up to you 300 people that person knows, out of which we want to look at the best 100 that they're the most comfortable with or closest with. And all we're going to do is go through that, not to get them in. Watch this catch. See, this is where people fumble the ball. Not to get those people in, but to see if they what? Know the right people. That's always the thing. I'm 3 levels down, and we're still trying to see if that person that Elizabeth knew that evaluated and brought somebody to the table, who they know. So all of a sudden, there's this generator of people, and people want to get in, because as soon as I have somebody interested below you, the question is, who's going to sponsor them, you or me? Does everybody follow that? It changes everything in their mind. Okay, so I do a lot of demonstrations. Sometimes I wonder why I do them. Why do I do this stupid funnel thing and this bean thing all the time? You know? You think it's like for humor or fun? There's a very important point in this. Okay? Very few of us know the people that are going to do this right off the bat. And for it to work, we have to go through a qualifying process and a screening process. But we all know at least 100 people out of 300. And listen, that's been validated by the social network companies and Facebook. I mean, it's been proven to investment bankers, and they built the model on that, and you know, the equity model. So look, it's a reality. So we have a lot of fun. We fill the funnel. That's what the process is about, and shake the bean jar. But you understand that every person that you lead to, and that they lead to, and that they lead to has a bean jar, and there's nuts in there. How many people really understand that? This is a process. So you're getting 100, 200, 300, 400, 600, 700, 800, 900 possibilities that somebody's opening the door to that has a connection with that could be your director in that leg. How many people get that? See, it's mathematical. The law of probability starts working in your favor. You don't want the person that you got to convince to do it. You don't want the person that you want to have to get in to do it. You want the person that says, oh my God, get out of my way. I'm going to tear this thing up. Oh, do you get that? So that's what that is all about. That bean jar represents 100 people, if you will work with them, to let them open the door for you so that they don't mess it up. Each bean or each nut leads you to another 100, and another 100, and another 100. And if you will keep working that, probability is in your favor, and it's mathematical. You will win. You can't beat the casinos, and you can't beat this system. You will get rich. I hope I'm making sense to you. Look, I know you're scared. I want to find out why you're scared. Because you see, I can show you how to do a backflip. I mean, a forward flip. It's not hard because gravity is going to take over. I just got to convince you to tuck off the board. And you will. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Okay. I do that because right on the other side of fear is success. I know you're a little afraid to do this, but if you do it with somebody and you just do it, once you did it, you know you can do it. And now it gets easier and you become dangerous. Am I making any sense to you? Do you feel me? Oh, God, I want you to feel what it's like for the business to work. Now, a lot of you keep doing the business, running on the treadmill. You made a treadmill into the business. We got off the treadmill to do the 45-year plan. But what did he do? He did something different. He flipped. That's really hard. I'm not asking you to do flips. I'm asking you to do something really simple. I know you're a little hesitant, a little scared. So here's what happens to 50% of the new UFOs that get into the business. They make a list. They have an initial evaluation approach and trial run. Somebody does it right with them. They set up a meeting with their senior partner, a meeting at their house, and they go see the people and bring them to the UBP. the upline is fabulous and polished, whether it be Big Al or Tom Holden or Elizabeth Weber or the Whiteheads. When they put on a plan, it's with passion, logic, intelligence, and it's convincing. And they dazzle them. And they are so excited because they got 2 people to that meeting. And they call me up and say, JR, I can't believe it. It was incredible. You should have seen Whitehead show the plan. They just, they blew everybody away. It was amazing. And guess what else? What else? The 2 people I had there got in. I activated. I said, oh, no, it's over. We stalled out of the starting gate of the race. That's what happens to at least 50% of the people. Look, I don't know who told you or where you heard that you sponsor 2 UFOs to activate and you're done. It did not come from me. That's for sure. Because my greatest desire was to find a way to take away the bad part of MLM. And one of the major bad parts was that everybody was in competition, and it required too many people for any one person to make money, and you had to keep adding on while they weren't succeeding in making money. And for them to last, you had to build down below, and you couldn't do both. They were antagonistic. So it was very difficult. And everybody said it was impossible, and we did it. But that didn't mean that you did 2 and stopped. I was always thinking that we had to do 10, we had to do 20, we had to do 8, and nobody got any benefit from it. And there was no teamwork. There was no cooperation. And now it would all go under them, and everybody would make money at the same time and be secured. Wow. And we did it. And what do? I don't understand it. You turned it into something that I didn't mean it to be. Oh, I activated, I'm done. Wait a minute, we're just beginning. Now we can really make money. It's in there for one reason and one reason only. Mathematically, you can't pay people on one leg, okay? Well, everybody gets 100% credit without dilution, infinite levels down for a whole year. But we have to build 2 legs in order for that to work. But instead of building 10 or 20, I put the rest of the people down below. And when everybody does that, everybody makes more money than they would have in the other one, and it's secure and stable, and you got residual income for a lifetime. What's wrong with that? Well, we have to keep sponsoring. So I don't know where this came from. Guys, this was the miracle. A miracle where we could build profitability in depth. We could sponsor more than 2 people and put them below the others, and everybody would work as a team, and we would hit checks. Maybe I have to change the plan and put something in it to reward people or to limit people if they don't do it, because it's destroying the power of this engine. And none of us want that. Don't worry, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to try to convince you to do what we're supposed to do like we did in the beginning. How about that? So the vertical binary system eliminated the need to have width, like in real estate, like in chain stores, like in franchises, where it all could be done vertically. You realize how difficult and complicated it is to have vertical profitability, to have multiple units under each other, where each unit can profit as much as they were single or horizontal, and everybody get credit for it. It's an absolute miraculous miracle. Do you realize that every single person in here, when that volume accumulates, if we went across this line, is on a different clock and a different meter? Because one person has a second leg, hits a check, their volume stops. But nobody else loses credit for it. Right? It keeps accumulating. Somebody else hits a check. There's people below them and above them that have that volume that didn't hit a check, but the volume stays in there. And it calculates if they're at the $300 check level or the $1,500. So everybody has a different meter and a different time clock, every single one of you. And this program is measuring all of that. It's miraculous. It's more complicated than software to go to the moon. And we have it. And it works. And we're not using it. So at any rate, that's why activation. Do you understand why activation? It does not mean you just do 2. It gives you the ability to do a lot more than 2 without people being in competition to make money fast and to secure legs fast. If everybody does this down 2 legs and does 8 per year, you realize what's going to happen to that organization? Well, why wouldn't you want to do this? Are you like pulling back when I say this? Oh, that's too much. So here's what happens. The average person will get 8, no matter how bad they are. You know, some people, when they talk, it's just annoying. Some people, just rub you the wrong way, anything they say. And they're mentally constipated, or their voice is screechy, or they're offensive, or maybe they're just shy and not very confident. And they're not very good at it, but they do 2 a week. But guess what? They got you with them, and they got somebody else with them, and they're opening the door to people that'll help with them. But even forget that. Even if that didn't happen, if they did 2 a week for 52 weeks, out of 104, they would get 8 go-nows, even if it was by accident, probability-wise. Proven statistical fact. It's not even up to them. It's just that they did the numbers, and that's the result. And it's usually a lot better, because not everybody stinks. And not everybody doesn't have an upline that doesn't help them, that realizes that those people are their people. So you would have 256 in each leg in that year, and you would, if you understand what Mark said, I know you don't believe in the IBV the way I do, but that's all changing. So 109 to 187,000, simply by changing what we do. What do you think? What do you think? So can you please write me or call me and tell me why you do not do it? I really don't understand. I'm missing something. There's got to be a reason. Maybe you didn't understand. Maybe nobody did it with you. Maybe you thought that activation, you were done. But we need to change that, because it's standing between you and 6 figures. It's standing between you and being director. So that little dumb thing was such a genius piece of work that'll take you to the moon, to take you anywhere you want to go, and that little dumb thing is in the way. Can we get rid of it? Huh? It doesn't spread you thin. It doesn't spread you thin. Oh, wow, guys, if we do this, there is going to be so many people hitting checks and pen levels that it is going to be a party. I mean, so we don't need 6 to 20 groups. We just need to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it together and doing the evaluation approach and working in teams from house to house and helping them do this. And you didn't even do your list of 100. You know what the good news about that is? You still got those people. You didn't go through them. You got an inventory. Let me ask you one more time. Will you go back with a plan, with a team, and start going through that list of 100, 2 a week? Will you? Will you? Because why are you here if you won't? You know? Well, you know, I just go as fast as I can, as long as I can, and see how far I get. But this is it. This is the magic. This is how the plan is supposed to work. This is how it's designed to work. The problem is the people that it was designed for to work stopped working. Can we change that? What a day it'll be. What a day it'll be. So this is how the organization and company was built from the beginning. True or false, Elizabeth? Where'd Frank go? He went to take a rest. But for those of you that were around in the beginning, this is how it was done, right? Kevin, is that the way it was done? So, are you willing to study and learn the reasons why the MPCP is designed to work better and handle everyone sponsoring more and duplicating it? Of course, in that process, if you use this process, what are you doing? You're imprinting geese, not chickens. You got that, right? So it changes everything. I want this slide series is available to you, okay? I want you to study these points. You should know these points. The reasons why the plan was designed to sponsor more than two, down two legs under every BDC to make it hit and have other people earning at the same time, which is the key, and secure it. Now, did that statement logically register? Or did it go in one ear and out the other? Because these are the reasons. You should be able to repeat them, to teach them, educate people, okay? But a lot of thought, technology, mathematics. Do you realize we don't have a fixed payout? It doesn't end at the end of the month. Everybody else does. They just reset to zero. It keeps going. It's an actuarial plan. We have to know what the probability is. It requires complex calculus derivatives on the rate of change of the volume and who's getting paid and what volume stays in. We figured all this out, and it works. And we're not using it. I mean, this was our dream. Now, the big people and the MLM companies aren't going to do this because they'll lose what they already got. They want to make us seem like we're crazy renegades. It's real simple. We're smart, you're stupid. We're both primates, human beings, but MLM's a monkey. That's an analogy. Yeah, we're both standing on our 2 feet, but we have a brain. We have an intelligent system that makes sense, that works. You just swing around on vines. Sorry. Doesn't mean that you stop at 2. Profitability and security for the first time ever, or stability, are built at the same time. You know how hard it is to build a leg? What if you had to build another one, another one, another one, another one, and they kept falling apart? You've all experienced atrophy. The only reason that you ever have atrophy in a leg is people stop doing this system that keeps producing the people and causes other people to earn. Okay. If you really believe and do these things, start over and become a goose. You understand what I mean by a goose, right? Now, the way you become a goose is to hatch gooses, because we know that you came in as a chicken. It wasn't your fault. That's how you got hatched. It's just not right. It's so unfair and so wrong that you have to decide, I'm going to have geese. So you hatch it, and it's a matter of imprinting. If you're doing this, they are copying geese, not chickens. Do you understand that? They don't know the difference. They don't know why it's working. They don't know why they do it. It's all they know. If you start doing it. Do you understand that concept? Okay. Let me go. So prospecting by qualifying, qualifying after the 100. After the 100, you're going to be good at this. And it's going to become very natural to learn the steps, the dance steps, which are the themes. You learn and practice. You know, if you're going to be in a play, you rehearse. What do athletic teams, sports teams do between games? Huh? Practice. What do bands and musicians do between performances? Practice. I know a couple brain surgeons. One did Lauren. I said, you know, Doc, I can't understand how you can open up a brain and do those things that you do. It blows my mind. He said, well, it's not that complicated. You got to understand before I was allowed to do it, I did it 1,000 times with somebody else. Wow. Do you hear that? So, you know, guys, you just got to start doing it and doing it and doing it, and you're going to be a great dancer. You're going to feel very comfortable with it. And if you use the evaluation technique in the 100 people to get the 2 legs going, you're going to be making money, and you're going to be confident. It'll happen naturally. Okay, so do you believe, and can you do these things? Can you start over to become a goose? Okay, the way the chicken or duck becomes one, okay, is by hatching geese. That's all we got to do. Do you get that analogy? Does that make sense to you? Is it registering in your brain? Okay, you can't be blamed for what happened, where you're at, what you are. But we can change it simply by doing it differently from now on in. And that brings people in as geese. And at the end of the day, why do I do these pumps? What a stupid thing. I do these demonstrations and analogies to make a point, to drive it home. It's like Jesus taught in parables. The stories or the examples. Nobody remembers the speech, but they remember the examples. But I'm beginning to wonder, does anybody understand why I do these things? You understand what priming the pump's about? And the point here is, the pump can give you an unlimited supply of water or liquid in the real world. The Market America pump can give you an unlimited supply of volume and residual income as a result, once we get it primed, but you got to do something, okay? And that's true in any business. We've created a system where you can do 2 at once, the binomial or binary system. And you really can do 2 at once. Do you understand that? In reality, experientially, we know that 2 can be done. I don't know about 4, I don't know about 6, but you can do 2, right? After that, you only have to do 1. But here's the problem. I'll try to understand this. We created a program where on 2 pumps, you could make 6 figures. Anything else, that's impossible. You have to have 10. Well, priming 10 pumps at once, and you've seen the demonstrations. I'm not playing a video. I'm not doing it now. I'm trying to save time. Do I have to do it again? Now, the bottom line is, you're worn out. Most people quit. Most people can't get it done. We don't have to do that because you're supposed to do the same thing down 2 lines with everybody pumping. Down the 2 lines. Do you understand that? Each pump helps the other pump. And then in MLM, the problem is, or network marketing, once you get them primed, my God, look what you did. You went this level. It's not going to last unless you help them prime pumps, because they each have to have 6 to 10 to 20. Do you understand that? No, you don't. If you get 10 pumps primed, you're making money. They're not. I'm going to say it again. If you get 10 to 12 pumps primed, you're making money. They're not. You worked really hard. So what's going to happen? Those pumps are going to start to lose their prime, right? We don't need to worry about that in this. Why? Because they're all pumping together down the same well. And everybody's making more money than if they did 10. But for some reason, you stop doing it. Let's do it. Okay? So the process and the pattern, okay, is what we're talking about today. The process and the pattern. It's prospecting, is qualifying people. All I'm doing is interviewing them, talking to them, becoming their friend, developing a relationship, and in the process, they qualify themselves if they want more, what their problems are, what their wishes are, what their dreams are. And then I use an evaluation technique and a no decision close, and the purpose is always leading to the right people. Everybody that they bring and everybody that they bring is getting people to evaluate it to see if they know the right people. And you don't want to bring anybody in that doesn't know the right people, so that's the qualification. Wow. Is this logic registering? So people leading to people first. When can I sign them up? Are they leading the people? Right, Elizabeth? If they're leading the people, okay. If you want to sign them up, sign them up. Okay? So prospecting is developing the possibilities. That means having a conversation. They complain, they wish, you ask them questions about it, you get into it, they like you, you're starting to qualify them. But sponsoring, they have to choose a 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan and be willing to do a trial run, or there's no use bringing them on. What good is it to sign somebody up that can't do it? They don't know how to do it, right? Okay, so my rule is you got to say it 3 times. First time, more questions than answers. Second time. See, I'm setting it up right from the beginning. Do you get this? There's not going to be any problem. I tell them up front. They expect it. They like it because I'm not trying to get them in. There's no pressure. And I take them through the 2 to 3 versus 45. That's the only thing that I really need to know. I spend the whole night on it. We can show the rest of the plan later. But they're not sold on the 2 to 3 over the 45. What are we doing this for? Right? Do you get that? That's the point. This is residual income. So the third time, light bulbs go off and fireworks go off. You start thinking of ways it might work. Then we test it out. We do a trial run. I do it with them. And at the end of 30 to 90 days, if they have people that want to get in and people that want to buy the product, there's no decision to make. It worked. How hard is this to understand? I make it work before they sign up. I tell them you got to be cooperative, coachable, and enthusiastic, and I'll invest a month or 2 of my time in you to see if this will work for you. Because you chose the 2 to 3 year plan. I hope this is making sense. Okay, so in this process of the trial run, are you with me or am I losing you? In this process, I'm finding out if they are right for the business. Mark, when we hire people, it's a grueling process, and you don't take the first person in the door. There's interviews, you look at their resume, they have to take tests. Why do you take the first 2 people in the door? How do you know that they're the best ones? You might go out of business because they stink. Right? In a play on Broadway, 2,000 people auditioned for a part. I mean, and you take the first one that walks in, there's something wrong with it, and it starts to tell you why maybe you haven't succeeded. There's nothing wrong with the business. This has changed the way we do it, and have fun. It's not hard. I think I missed one there. The shopping annuity approach, great way to do it. It's a great story. When they see the plan, it might not be the first thing that happens, but it got them to look because it's appealing. It makes sense, and that's coming along. Okay? So make a list of 100. Call 2 per week. Use a senior partner to show the plan. If the senior partner won't do it, go further up. If you can't find anybody, please call me. I want to know about it. Did you hear me? I don't understand it. Maybe there's a reason, but I need to figure it out because it doesn't make any sense to me. Okay? Test market the products. Lead to customers. I give them products. I find things that, I feel the same way. Okay? I found out that this worked. Okay? And so the 3 F's. Make it easy to get somebody to buy a solution to a problem that they're doing. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Then I found this magical product that solves that. And they want to try it. Always book a follow-up appointment in their location to see it the second time. Why? It changes everything when it goes into their location, into their home. And it's more probable that they'll be there. Okay? Sometimes I drive up and all the lights are out. I drove an hour. Okay, I'm experienced. What I do is I drive around the block a couple laps and come back and the lights are back on. I knock on the door. Hey, I'm here. Never answer the phone an hour before the meeting. Set up a trial run meeting in their location to get some people to evaluate it. Help them call them so that it works. They're actually giving you people. It's harder for you to go out and find them cold on the street. Test market the products. And by the way, you're the expert from afar. They know that person. They give them a hard time. They don't know you. That's your advantage. I told my original sponsor in the original business that I was in, I'm having a problem. I mean, I talked to 15 people, and nobody wanted to sit down and look at it. He said, Jim, that's because they know you. It's kind of an insult, right? They know you, and they take you for granted. Familiarity breeds contempt. Besides that, you're not very successful yet. So go to people that you don't know, because there's more people that you don't know than you do know. And because they don't know you, they'll listen better than the people that you do know. Well, that worked. Okay, repeat the process again with the person that they got to evaluate it. We just do the same thing over and the same thing over. Make it work under them, getting people doing trial runs. Now this becomes later, it turns into the ABC pattern. Once they qualified, they evaluated it, you've tried some product, they got some people in, now that becomes an A level. But you just can't assign ABC. You need a process that creates it. And this is what creates it. Okay, so test market the products, lead to customers, and here's the no decision close. You can print this out. Do we have the, I don't know where it is. We have a link to get it. There it is. See that? Take a picture of it if you want it. So it scripts out. Andy Dokas actually did this for me. It scripts out exactly what I say. Now, the funny thing is, I'll do 8 meetings for a person. I say exactly the same thing every time at the end. And finally, they say, you say the same thing every time. I say, you finally got it. You finally got it. Why? Imprinting, duplication. So don't worry about understanding all this tonight. My goodness, you understood the whole thing. You're the smartest person in the world. I didn't understand the whole thing the first night. In fact, I invented it, and I didn't figure it out in one night. But don't worry about that. The most important thing is that you chose a 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan, and it's about residual income. Okay, now, there's a lot of concepts here, a lot of numbers, a lot of diagrams. It can be mind-boggling. I know you have a lot of questions. That's why I'll get back together with you, because you chose a 2 to 3 year plan to go over that stuff for you. And we can talk about some people that you may know that may know the right people. Not that they would get in, but they may know the right people. And I'll do it with you. And if they lead to the right people, okay, we're on our way. We can do a trial run, a test market then, for 30 to 90 days. If you're enthusiastic, cooperative, and coachable, I'm willing to invest that time in you. And at the end of that period, if we have people clamoring to want to do it, people that want to buy the product, it already worked. There's nothing to decide. We're making money. What's so hard about that? Andrew, is that what I do? Where did he go? Over and over and over and over again, right, Elizabeth? I mean, guys, come on. So here's the solution. If you do that, we're going to have the only type of real learning that there is in life, experiential. You can't learn how to ride a bicycle reading a book. You can't learn how to play the piano watching a video. You can't learn how to ski watching videos. You got to do it. Does everybody understand it? It's feel. It's feel. So we're doing it with you, and you get to feel it, because we won't let you fall. We won't let you trip. So this person has people that could be my directors. They're not very good at it yet. I don't want them to mess it up. They're giving me the opportunity to talk to people that they think may want to do it, that would be good, or that know the people. What more can you ask for? What a gold mine. What a blessing. Am I wrong? Okay, so Elizabeth, she was the first one to catch on to it. She grew so fast because she had good people, and she would not let those good people be blown out by the smart people that they knew, right? And she would do the call with them. She was an expert from afar, and she had the golden tongue. And she made sure that they didn't get blown out. She got them to the meeting, so it started to work. So don't allow prospects or people your person knows to blow your person out. A more experienced person with confidence is better to do it. Now look, that doesn't mean that they can't do some of it on their own. But you want to help them whenever you can, because if you get a couple people going, it changes everything, doesn't it? And then call workshops, which Jim Winkler developed, and Elizabeth does them, and a lot of people do them. Hey, they're a gold mine. They're easy to do. So if there's a problem and somebody doesn't have the confidence, or for some reason they're not doing it, let's overcome that. You can do it. You know what a call workshop proves? Two things. Two things. Number one, you weren't doing it. You weren't doing it because you had a mess of names, and we called them and we got 4 appointments. Doesn't that prove that? And you know what else it proves? You can do it. We did it and it worked. Changes everything. Come on, guys. You know? So, if they chose a 2 to 3 year plan, at the beginning, they qualify to see it 2 more times. That's my method. It's like getting into Harvard. You want to be sponsored by me? You realize what happens when somebody's sponsored by me? They are destined to make 6 figures. I have this down to a science. If they'll simply cooperate, be coachable, be enthusiastic, and learn the system, they are with the best in the business. And I will make this work through you. Do you believe that? Yep. Why can't you talk like that? I'm tied into the best team. So, I am going to, I have like a barometer. I measure their comfort level, their confidence level, their interest level. Do you know how to do that? You can read their body language, right? You with me? So, I have to adjust to their level because I have one and only one goal. Lead me to your people. I invested that hour or whatever. I want to get something out of it. All I want to do, and it becomes an automatic mechanism. I just habitually, I'm programmed to do it. Whatever I got to do, the shortest route to getting to their people. Is this making sense to you? That is like getting them in. I don't want to get them in. I want to get to their people. They don't want to get in anyway. Wow. Anything registering? Okay, so sometimes they're only at a point and they're very busy or they're going away where they can give some referrals. But if I can get them on the phone with me or use their name or have them call and tell them I'm going to call, I'm halfway there. That's great. It's better than nothing, okay? Sometimes I just need to provide them more information because they have preconceived notions or they're not sure or they're an analyzer type. So I want you to go over this, take a look at it. I'm going to call you back tomorrow night and we'll discuss it and I'll come see you and, you know, show you how this works. Because I want you to be convinced. So the person that needs that, I'm going to give it to them. There's certain types of people that need that, right? And guess what? When I do it, the appreciation level and the bonding starts to happen. Because I spent the time to make sure that they got what they needed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay? So sometimes we're in an area and they know this entrepreneur down the street or they know people in the neighborhood. It happens a lot of times in urban areas. Let's just go see them. I mean, I'm here. I got to go, you know, I got another half hour. Let's go see them and introduce me, and I'll tell them about what we're doing and set up an appointment. Do it all the time, the walk-in. Every other business does it. You do it in everything else, but you can't do it here. Oh, my God. You know? A meeting around the kitchen table. Hey, just get the family, and we don't want them in, but we'll just practice on them. They might know the right person. And a couple friends, neighbors or whatever. Tell them to come over. You got this crazy guy that has his way to make millions. You know? You don't get so formal. You're always goofing around and joking around and cool, and all of a sudden you get into business, you get lockjaw. Right? You were always funny. Go back to being that way. Does this make sense to you? You know? I mean, Dennis is great at it. He's so funny all the time. People don't even know what the heck he's talking about, but they want to sit down with him. You know? He tells stories that have nothing to do with the business, about being an eagle and, football and this and that. And sometimes I listen to it. I say, was he ever going to get to the point? The point is, though, he gets the appointment. They're going to have coffee or they're going to have a beer. He's really slick. And then the next one's a home kickoff or a trial run at their house where I help them invite some people. They might want to even step up and make it their grand opening. But remember, we're prospecting, not recruiting. And we're sponsoring, okay, is a process, not an event. Prospecting, identifying a possibility, qualifying them, showing the plan. If they like the 2 to 3 year plan, that's what it's all about. Residual income. I'm doing them a favor to tell them about it. Okay? Then we can talk about if they can get some people to evaluate it, to see if they know the right people. Not to get them in. You got that little trick there, right? With the person that you have that's evaluating it, I'm not getting them to evaluate it to get in, but to get some people to evaluate it to see if they know the right people. And it works. So are you ready to start over? Who's going to make their list of 100? Okay, if you make your list of 100, take a picture and send it to the upline, and somebody on my team, give them my email for things like that. The other JR thing, because I got to be able to separate I want to see who's got the list. And hey, listen, I know you think it's impossible. You don't know how many people I communicate with directly. I am the all-time champion of it. I am in the streets and in the field and in with the people, and I'm there. But if you don't do your part, I ain't doing my part. I got plenty to do already. Okay, here's an assignment. My recommendation is I want you to get good fast. You're in a hurry, aren't you? I mean, look at you. I know that the plan says 8 to 15 hours a day, a week. You can do this realistically in 8 to 15 hours a day. I mean, Kevin wrote that in there. Okay, that's true. You can go along at a steady pace doing 8 to 15 hours a day, okay, a week, until you find somebody that's good. Now, if you find that golden egg, if you find that champion, if you find that thoroughbred, you might want to consider going berserk. Cancel the reunions, cancel the parties. Forget Wednesday night at the bar, sing along or whatever. Forget it, because you're going to get rich. I mean, look, if you're 35 and you're not where you want to be, you already wasted 30 years of your life, or 20, or 5. If you're 40 and you're not making it, what did you do for the last 10, 20 years? It didn't get you anywhere. You're still suffering. Time's running out. You only got one life. Man, what's 3 months? 3 months now after all that time went by and you didn't get nowhere. What's 3 months to go berserk? Because I'll tell you one thing, Elizabeth went berserk. Bowlings went berserk. Kiefer went berserk. I was with them. They were nuts. And we had a lot of fun. But you know what? You don't mind it when it's growing and it's just exploding. Would you do that? So you can do the 8 to 15 thing, and if we do this and we land somebody, whoo, I got a thoroughbred now, I got to ride this horse. You follow what I'm saying? You don't mind doing more because it's fun, and you're going to be financially independent, time-free for the rest of your life. You're 30, for 35 years, when somebody else is working to retire, you're already living the life of Raleigh, making money. Oh yeah, you got to keep a little bit in there, but it's fun. A little time in there. You got to help some people now and then start a leg, but you made it. Wow. It's amazing. So I recommend that you have courings and practice, just like the theater, just like the sports team, just like the band, just like the scientists do or the brain surgeons do in medical school. They practice a lot before they actually do it. Right? Right? Okay, so you get together and you learn these themes. The themes are the things about the business, the aspects, the angles, the components of what it is, you know? And you script the theme out and you practice it. Then you switch themes back and forth, okay? And people can say, why don't you say this? And why don't you say that? So you spend a whole night practicing and coaching and helping each other. It's a lot of fun. It's actually funny. Can you do this? Is this a bad thing? Do you like it? I mean, it's going to exponentially make you more confident. You know, support each other and ask questions and get answers. Go around the room and help each other. It's not a hostile thing. It's a practice thing. Does everybody follow this? And we coach each other. So here's some of the things: the shopping annuity, converting spending into earning, economic alchemy, digital aggregation, tracking system. They're all themes in that area that you can talk about. If you know how to talk about them, you're going to be dangerous because you can dance. You see, if you can't dance, it's a problem. Are you with me on this? Okay? Online shopping, getting paid to shop, social shopping, the economy. What a great topic. You know? Product brokerage, mall without walls, internet marketing, e-commerce, baby boomers, anti-aging, and wellness. Get this slide series and write these down and get your script for each one of these. Now, you want to make 6 figures and you won't do that? Don't you understand there's something wrong? Prepare yourself. Empower yourself. Become a professional. Do something to change things. And you will make it work. You really will. Baby boomers, 2 to 3 year plan versus 45-year plan. Great discussions. I have them all the time. Lauren takes me to this doctor that sticks needles in my face. You know? Well, how come you never work? I say, because I chose a 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan, unlike you. You went to school for 8 years to become a dermatologist, stick me in the face with needles, have to work all the time, have to run 500 patients through the office a week or to go bankrupt, while I am free. All the time. I do this all the time. Just goofing around, being silly, being stupid. You know, residual income and time leverage. Do you know what residual income is? You don't? Well, I guess that's why you don't got it. You can have there's a lot of good ones. I'm full of them. You know? Converting spending into earning. Economic alchemy, digital aggregation, tracking system. The tracking system, if you know how to explain it, blows people's minds. So you know, like social media, how everybody gets friends and it virally just kind of spreads, their footprint spreads, and the more they're visible, the more followers they get, and some people even become influencers. Well, we have a system that works just like that, except there's a little widget that goes in there, and it tracks everything that they buy, and you get a piece of the action on it because we extract it from the supplier. And it adds up into a residual income. Not only what you buy, but what that whole network of people that know people that know people that know people that know people buy. And when people go to buy things, why do they normally do it? Somebody told them, you should get this or go here. Isn't that true? It just simply tracks it. Do you realize, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we have? It's what we have. Tell the story of how it got created. Don't give people facts. Don't lecture people. Don't try to convince them with a presentation. Tell stories. Let me tell you how I became involved in this. It's the craziest thing. One day I was here and I met this crazy woman by the name of Elizabeth Weber. And she asked me if I liked working 40 hours a week for my whole life and, ending up broke. I said, of course not. She said, well, I teach people how to make $2,100 a week residual income without leaving their job. Would you like to know? You follow what I mean? I tell the story of how you got in, the story about what you discovered, the story about what other people are doing, the story of the story of the company. Stories. People believe more in people and stories than they do in facts. You guys hearing that? Okay? Collective buying power to force prices down, and our piece of the margin up. We have collective buying power. The establishment wants to keep us apart for a reason. It's a scam. It's a conspiracy. And we're rising up against it and using our collective buying power to be able to take back the profit so that we become rich and free rather than them. Unfranchised versus franchise. What a great one. The plan B. Do you have one? Let's talk about 401ks. Let's talk about Social Security. Let's talk about retirements. Let's talk about what you got after 45 years of working. Do you know? Scary. OPC3, a product that leads to an opportunity. Because when people use it and it works, it's an automatic trial size marketing. When they see you take it, they say, what's that? Oh, this purple fizzy stuff? You won't believe it, man. I used to run 5 miles a day. Something happened to my knee, and I couldn't even run at all. Now I can run 5 miles a day faster than I used to. Called OPC3, oligomeric proanthocyanidins. I practice that. Young entrepreneurs are getting involved. No longer do people that come out of college want to get jobs and be like their parents. They want to become free. They're much smarter than we were. And we have a program that fits them perfectly because they don't need the money to invest. One-to-one marketing, university major, any one of them. So you learn how to connect the themes like connecting the dots in a drawing. This one goes here to here to here. But you see, right now you're like, I don't know if I can do that. It's because you haven't practiced the themes. When you have the themes, you're feeling like, whoa, man, let me put that ball in the hoop. You know what I'm saying? You want to play. But you got to be a little bit comfortable. So you got to practice a little bit and have fun. One theme leads you to another, and all you're doing is educating. You're not trying to get them in. You're stimulating an interesting, intriguing conversation that's timely, that's forward-looking, that's smart, that's intelligent, and they're enthralled by it. It's so cool to have something to talk about, and you know what you're talking about. You see what I'm saying, guys? One theme leads to another, and you're doing the education. So does that sound like something you would like to learn more about? So watch, I get them, they're asking questions. Does that sound like something you'd like to learn more about? We teach people how to make money doing that. There's your zingers. There's your lines. But that's not going to happen unless they're coming after it. You see? So, Market America themes. I tell my story. I say, 28 years ago, I was miserable trying to make things work in marketing. Nobody would listen to me. Everything didn't make any sense. And I came up with this idea that people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. And if you knew what everybody was buying, you could go get it and supply it with them. And the internet age was coming, and they could order it online. And you could eliminate all of that middleman stuff and ship it directly to them. And you could take a piece of the margin when people led to people and pay them for leading to people, so you didn't have to do the advertising. People believe in what people say or recommendations more than they do advertising. And I started a company by accident because my girlfriend at the time, my wife, 20-some years now, irritated me. Told me that I couldn't do it, and I was full of S. So, you know, she inspired me. A billionth of a volt went off. She irritated me, and I did it. And she became an incredible marketer with me. And we have this incredible company that's doing $1 billion a year, and I don't even know how it happened. The little one. That's how I tell a story. You got a story? Tell my story. Tell Dennis's story. Tell some story. Okay? So that's what we do. We get comfortable with it, you know? I love the shopping annuity story. Talk about the economy, immediately comes to everything's going up. Do you ever notice how it goes up every single year, even if there's no reason to? We just come to expect it. Why doesn't it go down? If we use our collective buying power, we could make it go down. And if we got credit for it, our income would go up. So instead of our income going up and prices going, our income going down and prices going up, prices would go down and our income would go up. I met a genius that figured out how to do it. And we got a platform, an application, software that does it. You want to see it? I'm telling you guys. Is this making sense to you? Are you feeling me? You got to dance. You got to dance, you know? Okay? This is a great thing to have a coring on. I hope that you do it. You do it together, okay? And remember, the fortune is in follow-up. So don't make the technique be outside of their comfort zone. Bring it to their level. Keep it going. Keep the connection, okay? Keep following up. You don't have to be getting them in, just making friends, getting them more information, bringing them to coffee with somebody else who loves the business, who's great at it, introducing them to a customer that had a miracle happen. All these things are part of it. You don't have to always be getting them in. I hate getting them in. ABC pattern then begins when we go with them to see people, we have a meeting around the kitchen table, or we have a home kickoff. I book the follow-ups. We're going to get those people to suggest some people to evaluate it too that might know the right people. It's always about not getting in, but evaluating it because they might know the right people. And if you understand qualifying, we would never want to bring somebody in that couldn't lead to the right people or use a product and lead to customers, right? Are you learning anything? I can't believe I still got a few minutes left, 11:25. We're coming in for a landing. Okay? Buckle your seatbelt. So prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring, okay? There is no recruiting anymore. It's always prospecting, qualifying, and sponsoring. We don't want to have illegitimate babies. It's a big responsibility to sponsor somebody. It lasts a lifetime. There's a 6 to 9 month gestation period involved. It's painful to give birth. Be careful. Be careful. Don't get so excited. It's easier to conceive than to deliver. So let's make sure those are children that we would want to have. Because if you have them and they go out into the world and are failing, they may end up on your doorstep someday, and you're going to have to help them. Okay. ABC pattern for 30 to 90 days. If you do the ABC pattern for 30 to 90 days, 30, you have not made it yet. You are not a professional coordinator. You know, the first goal in the business is professional coordinator. You want to know why? But when I do goal setting, we don't talk about coordinator, executive coordinator. We're doing the pattern. We're doing the pattern, the evaluation technique, the trial run, you know, the no decision close down 2 lines, and I'm doing it with them. The 2 lines are really growing. I have to do combinations. When I do the meeting here, you guys come here. When I do the meeting here, you guys come here. You follow that? I can teach you all that, but you got to get it started first. No use teaching you something when you're not there yet. Next time, I'll teach you all that stuff. But you got to get it started between now and then. Now, what was I talking about? Oh, here's why. You must succeed so that other people realize their dreams. They have to see you making it because they don't know how to believe. But when they see you do it, oh my God, it has to work. Isn't that true? So, to do that, I must put all of my passion and focus on making somebody else make it. Because in them making it and knowing how they're going to make it and believing that they're going to make it, they will produce the people, and I will work this pattern through them, and they will end up earning a check. Does that make sense? So I get their passion going for what they want with a plan that they agree with and understand. And then we set out and we do it day after day after day, just like I explained, right? Now, when they go executive coordinator, if I have an executive coordinator in each leg making money, I am then what? A master. 2 legs, right? You with me?
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, so I got a person qualifying on the left and right. That's how I qualify.
Right.
I don't need to do side volume. Everything else, you got to do another 5,000 additional on the side to keep those checks. Not in this, because I beat the system. Figured it out. You do realize that, and everything else, that's what you'd have to do. Does anybody know that? Not only do you have to have 5 and 5, you got to do 5. Okay. I have a executive coordinator left and right earning a check. I'm a master. Now, if I'm doing the pattern and I'm driving those legs down and we have teamwork going on and people are leading to people, and we're using evaluation technique and the trial run and ABC pattern, they're going to qualify every week. Why? Because people are leading to people. And before, you just got people in and signed them up and they were not leading to people. And nobody was working as a team. So it came to a standstill. True or false? Get down to the bottom level. Find a place at the bottom level. So now, because I'm doing that, they qualify every week. Now that's what I want. 2 solid legs, people earning in each leg. That makes me a master. But when it goes for 4 weeks, that's over 4,500. It's almost supervising. I am a professional coordinator. So your first goal is professional coordinator. I get them thinking right from the beginning. When I start out the next meeting, I said, what's our goal? Professional coordinator. When are we going to do it? Well, we'll have it done within 3 months. I get them to program themselves. Okay, I'm getting carried away. I love it. Relationship building, friendly investigation, conversation, dancing mentally with them. Look, all you got to do is get somebody complaining or wishing and ask questions. They love you because you're interested in what they're upset about or what they're wishing for and want. And I get into it. Tell me more. Well, where'd you learn about that? Guess what? You were afraid to get in conversations with people. You suddenly became a brilliant conversationalist. You don't know what to talk about. You just ask them questions about what they're complaining about or wishing. and they love you. You know why? People's favorite topic is themselves. They're experts at it. People are experts on themselves. Am I boring you? Well, I'm telling you, it's amazing. All you got to do is that, and you're a brilliant conversationalist. I write their name down, and I take notes in my little pad, so that when I come back, it's not, hey, bud, how you doing? Or, hey, honey. You know, it's Stacy, how you doing? Big Al, how you doing? I remember their name. How's that, how's that job going? They make you work overtime this week? I mean, relationship, I'm telling you guys, this is so easy, you know? No recruiting. Prospecting is what I'm doing. Qualifying, sponsoring. How do they qualify? By how they respond, the type of person they are, who they know, what they do. You know, we have fun. Okay, so it's not about signing them up. Sponsoring is a process, okay? Sponsor 4 legs is like, what I'm going to do is put 4 people down that leg over the year. Maybe 8 if it's unbalanced. But everybody else is going to do that too. And it's going to fly. There's no way it can't succeed. All you got to do is everybody start doing this. You weren't getting people in before because you were trying to get them in. And you weren't using this technique. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this, okay? There's people ready, willing, and able to do it. You will find them by accident. Now, where is Elizabeth? Elizabeth and I started again a couple months ago doing this pattern. We had mapped out exactly what we had to do, right, Rick, to get to the next level, to regain income, to go back and hit another level. So you see what I was dealing with before. She goes berserk. And she is like, you know, a tornado. But in the process, listen to this, she bumped into somebody that was like her, crazy. Okay? That got it, that felt it, the timing was right. And this is what happens. In the process, you'll find a champion. You can't plan it, but you're doing it and it happens. Now that's a perfect example. How many did she put in? How many did you put in a month? I had 52 people in front of her. 52 people, 17 people at the convention already. You just started a couple months ago. Trial run turned into an ABC pattern. Do you see what I'm saying? She didn't plan that. She didn't even know her. Are you getting this? Oh, that was Elizabeth. She's different. Okay, fine. One excuse is as good as another. You might as well tell me you're chopping wood. What do you mean chopping wood? I don't understand. You couldn't find a person because you're chopping wood. What does chopping wood have to do with it? Well, one excuse is as good as another. Chopping wood. People who are entrepreneurial. Wow. When you know one, develop a relationship. It's going to come up. You don't need to bring it up. It's going to come up. They're eventually going to ask you what you do. Don't tell them that you're a school teacher. Say, you know, I love teaching school, but it's not going to provide me a retirement or allow me to do the things I want. I'd rather it be an avocation rather than an occupation. And I found a business that gives me a residual income. That's what you say. People network with networking experience. Find somebody above that knows the program and tell them, I have to save you. I know how dedicated you are. I know that it's working. I don't want you to stop believing, but I don't want you to spend the next 3, 4, 5 years and not know about this nuance, this new revolution, this new type of technology. Because you work so hard and you're so good, I at least need to make sure that you see it. Don't try to take them out of it. Don't try to do anything. Get them to one of us because it's worth our time to help you with that, and that's how you'll learn how to do it. I can't explain it how to do it, and then you do it. I have to do it with you or for you, and then you'll learn. Does that make sense? But now you got somebody who has invested their time, money, and they're stuck in this situation. They're a leader. They got to show their belief, but it's not going the way they want it. I can't pull them out of it because I'm playing with their belief. But I can tell them, let's do a test market. Everybody has waste in this world. I don't care if you're in insurance, real estate, I have waste. Believe it or not, there's some people, the timing wasn't right, or for some reason, they didn't make it, or they had a fight with their sponsor and they left. They're not going to come back right away or do it. They're waste, unfortunately. Let's take your waste, list it, and hook me up, allow me to talk to them for the next 90 days. It's not going to affect your position. It's not going to affect your credibility. It's not going to affect your organization. And if at the end of 90 days it's working and you're making more money from this and that, you got an option. You got something to think about. Ooh, ooh. Investigate. Investigate. Ask. When you put two people that are interested into a trial run and it's starting to go, all you have to do is ask, before I go too far, do you want to sponsor these people or should I sponsor them? Because you have first option. You know, most people, most mamas don't have a kid that dumb. Right? So they're going to say, of course. So I'm done. Let me see what else was here. Okay, we have fun. Look, guys, here's my pitch to you. Did you learn anything today? Please tell me the truth now. Do you see a difference? Do you see a difference? Okay, can you be a goose? You're going to get out of the chicken pen. Okay, so remember, I want, especially you guys. Andy, I got pictures of you and me. You guys, we had so much fun. It's unbelievable. We were crazy. We got drunk a few times. But we worked hard. There was crazy things that happened. We believed in God together. We worked together. We made it. You made it. It was so much fun. Let's do it again before you get too old. You know? One more time. One more time, guys. Dennis, one more time, you know? Look at these. The times, the memories. And this is what we were doing, what I described to you today. That's how it happened. I don't know how it stopped. The geese aren't migrating. We got to migrate again so that the new birds can figure out how to do it and imprint. Guys, we had so much fun, Elizabeth. I mean, guys, the memories. Look at this one. Who has this much fun making hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars? You know? The old days. You know, a miracle in motion. And you guys did it. We did it together. We can do it again. People need us. The world needs us. We have what it takes to change the world. And it begins with relationships. So, my wish for you is simply go back and try to do this. Reach out to your team, reach out to your upline. Let's try to do something different because I believe that it'll change for you. And we will come back at new pen levels. I believe in you.